people feeling more anxious, more depressed, more overwhelmed.
An additional 53 million cases of major depressive disorder.
10 million of us suffer from a serious mental illness each year. 10 million!
You're now seeing an increase in mental health problems and diseases of despair, as they call it.
1 billion people. That is the amount of people around the world who suffer from mental health issues. Yeah, that's kind of a lot. That is equivalent to the population of 100 Portugals, the country where I live in. So mental health is kind of a big deal, and to improve mental health, we need to find out why therapy works. We need to find the active ingredients of psychotherapy. This concept in medicine is the part of the pills, the treatments, which is biologically active, which heals. But identifying the specific active ingredients of psychotherapy is a little bit harder. And one of the reasons why it is so much harder is because there are more than 400 different types of psychotherapy. And this is kind of a problem because therapists can't really agree on why therapy works. Well, but now you may be wondering, if there are 400, there must be some which are a bit better than others, right? We should look for those active ingredients in the ones who work best. Well, if you're asking that totally valid question, it's because you haven't heard about the Dodo Bird Verdict. Yeah, the Dodo Bird Verdict. Weird name, I know. But this verdict is the result of extensive research, which has shown that there are minimal differences between different types of psychotherapy. And this has a fascinating, an absolutely fascinating logical consequence, that in fact, most of the healing in psychotherapy is due to common factors between them, things that they share rather than differ. And this is so amazing. I really love this topic. Despite ample scientific evidence to the contrary, there are still some fanatics who actually believe that it is the specific techniques of each therapy which actually work. Hey, who are you calling a fanatic? How the hell did you get in here? What does it matter? You called me a fanatic because I defend and believe in a single orientation. Okay. Doesn't make any sense. You know what? You're right. I shouldn't have called you that. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Maybe we should try to have a real debate, like a calmer and rational debate. You wanna do it? Okay, let's go. Okay, so let's do this. Let me show you some evidence and we can discuss it as we go along, okay? Fine, I'm okay with that. Well, there have been numerous meta-analyses that show that the differences amongst therapies are quite low, which kind of points to the fact that there are a group of common factors amongst all these different flavors of therapy that actually matter and work in healing. Yeah, I know about the Dodo Bird Verdict, but could you tell me about some common factors which you believe are important? It isn't really me who thinks they are important. In reality, research shows that 30% of therapeutic success can be attributed to these factors, and these factors can almost be described as the components of the therapeutic relationship. How accepting, warm, empathic, and encouraging the relationship is. These are factors that all therapies share, because they all presuppose the therapeutic relationship. Wouldn't you agree? Well, yeah, I agree with that, but as far as I understand it, those common factors only account for 30% of therapeutic success. So where's the rest? Well, you're right. I'm glad you asked that. In fact, the biggest group of therapeutic success predictors actually occur outside of therapy, extra therapeutic factors. And in reality, they are also common factors to all therapies, in the sense that they always exist and matter despite which orientation you choose. They just exist outside the therapist's direct influence. Yeah, I've heard of that. That would include stuff like the support from family and friends, financial stability, and even patient's intelligence. Yeah, I read that article. Exactly, I totally agree, but don't forget that the mental health issue itself is also a part of this. The strength and quantity of symptoms, and even a patient's motivation to change, is a part of this. Well, wouldn't you say that it is slightly paradoxical that the biggest predictor of therapeutic success is what happens outside therapy? On one hand, yeah, and it's fascinating, but at the same time, the context where you want a patient to be healthy and feeling good is outside of the confines of the therapist's office, right? Yeah, I guess when you put it that way, it makes total sense, and it was that context that, to some extent, led him to seek actual help in the first place. I know. I'm glad we agree. Wait, but hold on, you can't just present things in this one-sided way. There's at least a part of therapeutic success that can be attributed to specific techniques. Yeah. Now it's my turn. You're right that it may not be as much as common factors, but specific techniques account for 15% of therapeutic success. And that's not nothing. That's nothing to scoff at. There are methodologies which are specific to certain therapies that work better than others in certain cases. Yeah, still my turn. And while I concede that common factors in integrating multiple therapies is important, you have to admit that it was the fact that some therapies developed and defended single orientations that even allows to even consider integration. You can only integrate multiple therapies if multiple therapies exist in the first place. That is true, but don't you see that we're at a point where we would gain so much by integrating and stop defending these orientations like they were sports clubs? Maybe. Okay, after this unbelievably good-spirited debate, after learning about the 3 sets of active ingredients, extra therapeutic factors, the support outside the doctor's office, common factors, the things which all therapies share, particularly the therapeutic relationship, and the specific techniques which are particular to some therapies, I need to talk to you about the single most impactful active ingredient of psychotherapy. While its influence may seem a little bit smaller than the other ones, just 15%, it's actually the biggest single predictor of therapeutic success. Because while others were given as groups of influence, this one stands alone. Prepare yourself. It is the placebo effect. This is kinda ironic because usually placebos are the pills which do not have active ingredients. In medicine, placebos are like pariahs to be controlled for in medical trials. But the human mind is so amazing and complex that, in this case, placebo effects, or the expectancy from the patients that the treatment is going to work, accounts for a whopping 15% of therapeutic success on its own. This is actually mind-blowing. And as you have learned, most of psychotherapy's active ingredients are shared across therapies. I could try to sum up this video with a rant on why integration in psychotherapy is really important, and it is. How that is the way to find out how to help the 1 billion people I spoke of at the beginning of this video. Integrative efforts informed by scientific evidence are, in my opinion, the way forward in psychology, not the proliferation of hundreds of different treatments. But in reality, I just want to share how beautiful and cool this all is. The amount of counterintuitive findings I talked about today just brings a smile to my curious face, as you can see. And I honestly hope they also brought one to yours. By the way, I also made a deep dive into the heritability of intelligence, which is just as full of counterintuition as this one. I honestly believe you will like it. Bye.